So back to you, James, and your mindful migration insights on this, the occasion of our 100th such gathering on the screen here.
Yeah, well, it feels a little vulnerable to me, and maybe a little bit change of pace. But I noticed something Friday morning when I was waking up, that it was new to me. The feelings that were going on were new to me, and it felt akin to what I was talking about when I talked about immigration fatigue. I've never, well, I shouldn't say never. I've only experienced even a taste of depression a long time ago. And it was really just kind of a little funk, but it was horrible. It was like the most down I'd ever felt. And I said, man, if this is how depressed people feel, I just filled up with compassion because it's so much more intense, their experience, than mine was being. And this was akin to that, but lighter, but more than just the immigration fatigue. And it was just this sense of, I don't want to do it anymore. Wow. And not suicidal, but just the challenges, the constant being outside of the comfort zone that being in a new place requires. Everything is new. Everything feels a little bit risky. It's not intense. It's not life-threatening, but it's just this feeling of and it's so persistent you don't notice it. And for some reason on Friday morning when I woke up, I was noticing that feeling that it's just like, and I'm not used to that. Normally I wake up and go, all right, what are we doing today? So it was new and something I observed. And I said, because I have the philosophy generally that if I experience something, I'm probably not the only one. And it seemed to me that this might be an appropriate place to talk about it with the audience of so many immigrants that we have in the audience, or in the community, I should say. So there was just this sort of longing for comfort and familiarity, and it started to feel like back where I came from, like there I could relax. There I had a comfort zone I could be in there, and then I got to think, I said, but that's not the answer. I don't want to be there. That's not the place. There's other challenges that come with being in that. So I just kind of sat with it. I knew that it was just a feeling that would pass, and it wasn't overwhelming. I mean, I got up and did my routine, but it was just the noticing of that feeling of just sort of longing for familiarity, longing for the ease of just sort of being a zombie for a day and still getting through it without having to think, that kind of thing. It just wasn't available to me. I just can't do that. If I relax, then there's a mistake or something doesn't get done or I miss something, So it's like, we talked a little bit a while back about hypervigilance with the news. This is kind of hypervigilance about your state of being that is just running in the background. It's, that's the only thing that's automatic, is paying attention to everything. And I just kind of felt that sense of, I just don't want to do this, which, as I said, was new for me. And I don't know if that's true of others who have, maybe been here a while. I mean, I've been here 2.5 years, so I'm probably not going to experience that so much in the first year. And as I said, it felt related to the immigration fatigue I talked about. It just so many things, just had to keep doing and keep doing and keep doing. And that got me thinking about the comfort zone, which has gotten kind of a bad rap in the last several years. Like, it's a bad place to be. You get out of your comfort zone. You're not living your life if you're living in your comfort zone, all that. And I don't disagree with that. I think life happens in the comfort zone too, but new life, new things, learning, all that stuff occurs outside the comfort zone. But the comfort zone has a very valuable and important role in our lives that people may overlook because of the rap it's getting. And that's where we rest. That's where we recharge. That's where we can just let the guard down and just become one with the lazy boy chair. It's like just, and that's important.
Lazy boy chair. Everyone understands that, don't they?
Yes. So I also want to give kind of a shout out to that aspect of the comfort zone. Like, there's nothing in life that's all bad or all good, in my opinion.
Mm.
And the comfort zone isn't like a negative place. It's a necessary place. It's just, if you're living your entire life there, then you're probably not having a whole lot of fun. You might be really comfortable, and maybe that's fun, but there's not much adventure. There's nothing really new in the comfort zone. That's why you can relax there. And I think that's what ultimately the conclusion I came to was, that was the longing for that place. So how do I do that, given that I'm in a new place with a new language, with a new culture, and it's just not available to me yet?
Yeah.
I never realized how long it takes us to begin to operate fully on automatic. And it's more than 2 years, because I'm not on automatic after 2.5 years of being here. So
Yeah,
maybe
you're
it's 5, maybe it's 10. I don't know, but it's a long time to actually just operate in automatic mode.
And it depends
So
how your life is structured and your circumstances and context. I think has plays a big part in that. But yes, I would agree entirely with Alison here. Well explained, well said. We can relate, wise James, and it is perhaps the darkest end of the immigration fatigue spectrum, if you like. And it happens. It so happens that it just in the last month or so, a few weeks, couple of weeks possibly, I've become aware of Facebook groups that are attuned to this. They are specifically places for people to go who are having a very difficult time. And I have my reservations and mixed feelings about that, but I do understand it more than I've ever done. And you put it very well.
well, and that
There.
becomes bashing and everything, everything's
You can,
crap.
can't
It's like,
it? Yeah,
no, that's not what I'm talking about. And
yeah,
I always want to leave with solutions. It's like, so
yeah.
what do I do? Here's my circumstance. I don't want to go back to the US. It's not the answer. It just, in the moment, it feels like, oh, there's where I can run on automatic. It's like, yeah, but
Yeah,
so no thanks. Don't want to do that. So what
yeah.
do I do? And that's, to me, that's the helpful part. So I basically consciously gave myself a day off. I just said, you
Interesting.
don't have to do anything today. Just be in your comfort zone today. Just relax. You don't
Yeah,
have to go out. You don't have to go take a walk. You don't have to talk Portuguese. Just be right here and just feel that comfort. And, an hour or two later, it was gone. It's not like it even lasted a day. But this is my life as I pay attention to what's going on in me. And that's what was going on when I woke up, and I noticed it was different. So then it
right.
comes to, that's the notice. What do I choose and how do I act? And giving myself
Well,
the day off was how I did that.
well, thank you for that. Well observed, well dealt with. Colleen, comforting insights as always. James, obrigada. Geraldino, I can totally relate, James. I find it helpful to seek out and recognize those little comfort zone things in my life and use those as a touchstone. For example, for me, it's chocolate milk before bed. Oh,
There you go. Yeah,
in
something
the lazy
familiar.
boy, in the lazy boy,
Uh-huh.
possibly.
Yes.
I've lived and worked. The Portuguese is here. Naughty. Good morning to you, Portuguese. I've lived and worked in several countries, and I've always given 6 months as a rule of thumb. Portugal is an outlier in terms of getting used to things. Interesting, and I can't wait to find my comfort castle. That's good forward planning to think about. Yeah, because for me, I'm one of those probably. And I was gonna. We've got Tig joining us in about a minute, so now is not the time to open the can of worms of how this might relate to complex trauma and our past and the very psychotherapeutic parts of this. But I think that's a very valid conversation, perhaps for another time.
Well, it
But
can go really deep. I mean, all the way back to the womb
so,
in terms of
yeah,
comfort.
that is the original comfort zone. If you're
Yeah.
lucky, right? I can't wait to find my comfort castle, says Jackie. Just a tiny place with a garden and a kettle. A kettle, of course, with a Welsh rarebit and a cup of tea around there. I'm here 9 years, says Pam. My comfort zone is here now. I think it took about 4 years. There you
Okay.
go.
Good
And
to
hi
know. Yeah.
from Jackie and Pam. It's good to have a day off. Day off once a month. That's some work ethic right there. Don't get spoiled. You can have one day off a month. And Rui, I can fully
Well, I
understand,
think
James.
she means that fully just unplugging from the world, day off,
And
that
very
kind of
good
day.
advice. Very good advice.
Yes.
I lean towards the get out your comfort zone, gung ho. I'm not going to let any negative thoughts get in my head.
That's not a good place to be. Get out of there.
And I know that is not healthy. You know, it's an adaptation. It's not a healthy thing. And I've been, actually being in Portugal has helped me to understand that. I can fully understand. James says, Rui, good morning to you. Good to see you, Rui. In Britain, I've always felt that something or someone was chewing me up and pushing/spitting me out. I was in a familiar industry, nothing particularly different. Yes, your experience of being in Britain there. Thank you, Rui, for that. Thank you, James, for your wonderful insight. And we're going to hear about some of those things now that do make, that might push you to the end of the immigration fatigue spectrum into a dark day from time to time. Sorry to associate that with you, Tig. Let's bring you onto the screen. True, though.
Oh, yeah, not kidding. Because, I mean, difficulties that people have, I mean, it's, as we know, has been phenomenal.